I'm Tim Pratt with Swell Contractors, and this is another Swell video. Welcome to another episode of Six Pack Sundays, a weekly video series question and answer forum where homeowners, DIYs, and fellow painting professionals can submit their questions throughout the week and kick back on Sunday to learn the answers. Don't ask Google, but ask a painter. That is an interesting question. Well, of course, you are allowed to paint the outside of the fence, unless you live in an HOA where you have some restrictions on what color you can paint. Who is not allowed to paint the outside of the fence? Your neighbor. No, that's against the law. Of course, not maintaining your fence leads to an eyesore, which could create that neighborly dispute. But in some cases, it's actually the homeowner that creates the neighborly dispute in what is known as a spite fence. Where I live in Georgia, there's no law against it, but there is legal precedence to show that the law supports spite fence litigation from a neighbor. If you're building a fence or painting a fence, I recommend first consulting with your neighbor. And who knows, they may be a very creative person and have some great ideas. Wow, another great question. Yes, shellac. It's a great product, not your everyday product, but it's used for priming and sealing. Here we have a product called Bin Primer. It's very popular. It's a shellac. You can find it at your local hardware store or big box retailer. The thing with shellac, where it derives its name, is the main ingredient is a resin that's secreted from the female lac bug, where it gets its name, shellac, from the lac bug. Now, these lac bugs live in India and Thailand. And the other day, I went to the store and they didn't have any. And the rep told me, why don't you just call customer service? So I called the service number. And actually, I think, the person I spoke with, I think he was from India. And anyway, he was telling me, I'm not sure if it was lost in translation, but he was saying that something about there was a lack of supply and that the resin production was on back order. That's a good question. Most paint manufacturers mention that if it's below 40 degrees outside, it's too cold. However, if you really need to get the job done, you can always just put on another coat. Yes, I hear that one a lot. Because painters are a home service and they don't have a retail store presence, so you're not going to find them that way. I guess you could be driving down the road and happen to see one and take it as a sign. Or typically people use word of mouth or Google. That's a great question. Personally, I don't see how it would be very profitable, but it does remind me of one time I gave a painting estimate to a customer and they asked me why I was charging for materials. They told me that their previous painter told them that the paint was on the house. Great question. It's true, most homeowners don't own ladders, so as a painter you must bring your ladders with you. In some cases you could get away with it, I guess, if the ceilings were really low and you're really tall, or if you're really resourceful, you find a way. And that concludes another episode of Six Pack Sundays. Be sure to tune in next Sunday to hear the answers for the questions you submit this week. Thanks for watching, and happy Sunday. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing.